host Elizabeth. It's the Caffeinated Cooper Show.
Yeah, I believe in you. I don't believe in lucky sevens. I'm not sure about Loch Ness, but I know I believe in angels. I believe in happiness.
That is so absolutely right. Thank you so much, Platinum Planet. Platinum Planet Pictures? No, Platinum Planet Studios in Nashville. My gosh. I guess it's been one of those weeks. My brain is only half there. Hold on to your roller skates, guys. I don't know what we're going to see out of me this evening, but I'm super excited. So let me tell you, I have a beautiful lady connected with me this evening. I am so grateful that she has a moment in time for us. Her name is Julienne Davis, and I'm going to get to her in just a moment. But up first, let's talk about our sponsor, as we always do, because we are always grateful for those that send us wonderful product that I get to try and unbox and talk to the owners of the company, and we find out their history, their backstory of how they started. So Water Joe, water plus caffeine. That's it, literally. So this is not like a daytime commercial to where they pop up the words and the actor's just saying verbatim exactly the words popping up, which is exactly what I did, which is why I'm making that reference, because those commercials drive me crazy. But really, water plus caffeine, and it tastes as pure as that. It tastes like spring water if you enjoy the taste of spring water. It doesn't have a bitter taste like you might think that it could. It is refreshing, smooth, tasteless spring water. So they have a 700 milliliters, which is 24 ounces. And in that 24 ounce bottle, there's 85 milligrams of caffeine. That's a full cup of coffee. And, fun fact, little story. My sister, who lives in Pennsylvania, she was visiting my parents in North Carolina. And this was right when we brought on Water Joe as a sponsor to the show. And they were so kind. They sent me, almost a pallet of these bottles of water. And of course, I drank them. I unboxed them. I loved them. I took them to the gym everywhere. People would say, hey, what's that? Tell them about it. It was really fantastic. But I took some of them up to my parents' house in North Carolina, and I gave them to my sister because I know her and my nephew were driving back to Pennsylvania. And they were just switching off. They're like, no, we're not going to stop. We're not going to get a hotel room. We are just like straight through. And I'm like, okay, please take these. So they did. They took 6 of them. And between the 2 of them, it was a straight shot. 13 hours later, 14 hours later, they were home. And my nephew's like, Aunt Elizabeth, that was really good. I didn't know what to expect. I kind of looked at it. I'm like, kind of getting tired, but I don't know if I want it. Like, it's going to taste gross. And he's like, it tastes really great. I really loved it. So he wound up ordering some. So Water Joe is truly for everybody. Like I said, water plus caffeine. There's no sugar. There's no artificial sweeteners, no added color, of course, no taste. Water Joe comes in 4 sizes, 20 ounce, 24 ounce, 1 liter, and 1.5 liter. And you can get them at waterjoe.com. That's WATERJOE.com, Amazon, Walmart, and Beverages Direct. And I also suggest going onto their website because many of times throughout the year, they will offer, if you subscribe and you go onto their email list, and they'll give you 10% off, 15% off, 20% off. You never know. So go check it out. Water Joe is really a great product. All right, everybody. Speaking of Water Joe, I got to get a little water here because here in Georgia, our weather is quite crazy. Mother Nature has a mind of her own, and she exercises it here in Georgia. 1 minute we are fish with about 95-degree humidity, and another second we have 9% humidity. So we're at 9%, and I want to make sure that I read this correctly. So as I had mentioned, and hello to everybody watching and viewing, make sure that you comment, share, like, and subscribe on YouTube. Absolutely. YouTube is the Caffeinated Cooper Show channel. So make sure you find us, ring our bell, and you will never miss another show. I have acclaimed actress Julienne Davis connected with us. You may recognize her from popular films such as Eyes Wide Shut, Urban Gothic, and she stars in the science fiction thriller Fear Frequency, now available on Amazon. When asked about her latest project debut, Fear Frequency, she is quoted saying, "I'm very grateful to see this film arrive on Amazon and give audiences a chance to experience this amazing story," says Davis, who also produces. "I'm especially proud to be a part of this talented team that works so hard to make this female-centric film a reality." Davis has earned 2 Best Actress awards, including one from Hallucinia Festival in Paris and the other from Horrors for You Festival in London. Other awards include Best Film Award from the LA Sci-Fi and Horror Festival and a Best Thriller from Toronto's International Women's Film Festival. The film also received an honorable mention from the Berlin Indie Film Festival and was a semi-finalist at the Atlanta Renegade Film Festival. Fear Frequency was produced by Laura Russo, Tim Huddleston, and Julienne Davis from RHD Films, with Russo as director. The film is distributed by Juno Films. Julienne was born in Los Angeles. She left home at 17, moved to New York to pursue a career in classical ballet. She has an entire life wrapped up in a beautiful package of the arts, and she's fully embraced it. And I really want to stop there with her ballet career. And I want to introduce, without any further ado, Miss Julienne Davis. How are you this evening? It's wonderful to see you.
Hi, you too. Thank you so much for having me.
You're very, very welcome. So, I don't even know where to start because, as I said, you have enveloped just all the beauties of art and brought it all into your life. And you do it all. You are a singer. You are an artist. You are a ballerina. You are an international model. You are an acclaimed actress. Wow. Where did it all begin?
I've always loved, I'm just an artistic person through and through. And even from the time I was a little girl, I loved doing it all. Singing, acting. I didn't paint back then, actually. That's the only thing that I've started doing more recently. But singing, acting, music, modeling, fashion, film. I mean, yeah, I've done many things. Yeah. I just love making art in all its forms. Yeah.
It seems like it would be an entirely too silly question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Would you have a favorite, or do you have one that you do most often?
That's really tough. I love music. I really love making music. I think it's one of the things I'm best at. But I also find music very, very hard to make money at. So, but you know what? I think I love everything that I'm doing when I'm doing it, if that makes any sense. So if I'm acting or if I'm making a film, like making Fear Frequency, I love doing it. I love being a part of it. I love being able to act in it. I love being able to be, one of the writers of the story, all of those aspects. And, like with painting, I love painting when I'm painting, or making music when I'm making music. It really just depends on my mood. And I guess that's the thing, is that I don't feel like I'm compelled to do only one thing. I know some people frown on that. Some people think you should only concentrate on one thing, but I do what moves me. I do what moves me and what makes me happy. And so that's how all of those things evolved, really.
Yeah. Just the the wonderful refined skill of being able to be in the moment
Right.
and fully envelop what you're doing. I do have a question here already this evening from Joe Mathis. He is saying, what instrument do you play?
I play keyboard, but not very well. I'm more, I would consider myself more a producer, in that when I make music, I hear all the instruments. I see the instruments, which is weird. Like I see the sounds. And so I have this vision for a song and I see how it's arranged, you know, I mean, literally in front of me, like, okay, I see this, like the trumpet here, and there's a breakdown here, and, you know, different things like that. But I do play keyboard, not very well. And that would be my main instrument. I can find melodies on that. But otherwise, the way I write with, I usually start with a sample of something and I loop it. And I might have a song that had come to me from, I don't know, just a melody that popped into my mind, and then all of a sudden the lyrics start to come. And it's not something I control. It's just kind of something that just, I feel like I'm a conduit. Like it just things come through me.
Sure,
you know?
sure.
Yeah.
You know, that sounds, I can't remember the name, but there was a classical composer that saw music that way, and they wrote it because they can see it visually. And for the life of me, I can't remember who it was.
I'd love to know who that is, because I'd love to listen to what they're doing, because that's what happens to me. I see it. I see the way I don't know. It's weird. It's hard to explain how you can see music, but that's how it is for me. Yeah. So whenever I do anything musically, I have a real vision for it, obviously.
Right.
Pardon the pun. Oh my God.
Take me back to even earlier when you were a child, because you, with your profound love of the arts, I mean, it's in your blood.
Yeah.
So were you always a young girl that just sort of went by your own wave? Like you were just doing your own thing and it was always very artistic? And do you have
Pretty
a lot
much.
of...
Yeah. I mean, I guess I never really fitted in with the in crowd, you know. I just kind of did my own thing. I mean, I had a few close friends, but, you know, it wasn't like I was, you know, Little Miss Popular and all that stuff. I just, I guess I like to disappear into art because it moved me, you know. So when I was younger, I would write poetry a lot. Like, you know, I would be like 9, 10, and I'd be writing loads of poems, and obviously those poems turned into songs and into stories, like, you know, writing, helping to write. I don't want to give myself all the credit. I mean, the three of us wrote the story together, but that initial idea about Fear Frequency, I'd gone to Laura about it, and she loved the idea. And then Laura and Tim and I all got together and we developed this storyline together, and it went from there.
So tell me a little bit more about Fear Frequency. As I had mentioned while we were in the green room, that I'm brand new to this. I haven't watched the trailer. I haven't watched the film, which is available now on Amazon. So everybody can go watch Fear Frequency this weekend, which we
you just go into Amazon, type in Fear Frequency, and it's right there for you. And it's exclusively on Amazon right now. It will be available on other platforms later, but for now it's on Amazon. It's in this country and it's also in the UK, and I'm not sure if it's in Greater Europe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So take me through the storyline a little bit. What is it about? I mean, we have the trailer. If you'd like to go ahead and go for the trailer.
Yeah, let's just show the trailer. That would be the best way to do it. Let's just show the trailer.
Okay, let's do that. Now I do need to, would you mind setting it up for just a moment, just while I bring it into the broadcast?
Sure. So let me read. I got to find it now. Let me read the log line.
Okay.
When a global communications blackout strikes, the line between reality and delusion blurs for an online conspiracy theorist who believes she has become the target of a powerful secret society bent on world domination.
Perfect. This is Fear Frequency.
3, 2. If you're watching this, then that means I've actually found an outdoor through this communications blockade. Whatever you've heard, that this is because of a worldwide satellite failure or an electromagnetic pulse, that it's the work of foreign adversaries or terrorists or aliens or whatever, it's bullshit. In fact, just about everything you think you know is bullshit.
We're leaving. We're packing up a few things and we're getting the hell out of here.
I'm not going anywhere. We've been lied to and manipulated all our lives. They're watching me. But I'm watching them.
I let something terrible into my house. Everything's about vibration.
You're not watching me, are you? I'm not watching you. No one is watching anyone. You're not losing your grip on reality. Reality is losing its grip on you.
Look at you. You can't even tell if I'm real.
This is...
That is spectacular.
Good. I'm so glad you like it.
I got chills. See, this is why. This is why I'm like, no. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait because I'm gonna enjoy this way too much. Wow. Okay.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I hope everybody else watching it feels the same way. The thing that's so great about this, and I mean, I gotta say it again, this film is a completely independent film. We wrote it, produced it, did everything ourselves, and we didn't rely on any studios or outside funding or anything. And I'm just, because of that, I am so proud of it because it means it's truly our voice. It's truly our creative baby. And I really, I hope that other people embrace it in that respect, that, that they're supporting, quote, the little guy, right? I think that's wonderful. And I love supporting other independent artists. I mean, I'm always on the lookout for the new cool cult film that's an independent film, I'm looking for it on the internet and stuff. What's the new good film? What I find so interesting about this is that, I'm going to be honest here. This is the first feature that I have been the lead. Now, for a lot of actors, and you're an actor, Elizabeth, so for a lot of actors, that can be kind of terrifying. And you can really mess yourself up in your head thinking, oh my gosh, I have to carry this film. And I just, that whole thing, I just pushed out of my head. Number one, we were so busy and I was in every scene. So first of all, I didn't really even have time to think about that. And secondly, I just approached it like, okay, we've got this scene. Let's do this scene. Okay, done. On to the next one, And so I just was focused that way as an actor and I just took my ego and pushed it out the door and said, right, let's just concentrate on what we're trying to achieve, what the storyline is, what the character is. And the thing that I find so fascinating about Jackie, or Jackie stroke Jax, because she plays these two characters, is that it's something that I think a lot of people can relate to because of what's been going on with the pandemic, right? And the lockdowns and the fact that when we started this whole thing, we were fully locked down. When Laura and Tim and I decided, okay, we're going to do this and we're going to do it in the middle of the lockdown. you know, because we all wanted that creative outlet, number one, but number two, we wanted to have this amazing story that was compelling, that we could create, and we didn't have to answer to any big studio or anything like that. And yeah, I just love that. Just love it.
So when everybody's coming together to create their own project and you have multiple different people and ideas, then you get to the point to where, okay, wardrobe, props, places to film, you know,
Yeah.
settings, all this. What were some of the challenges that you occurred when you thought, oh no, you know, I need this mask? Where did you get those types of items that I'm assuming nobody just had laying around?
Right. Well, the masks, I mean, some of them we just bought and painted, and like the mask that you saw on me, that was just, the truth is that was just one of those cheap masks that you get at party time. And I just quickly, I mean, I painted that thing within, you know, like 10 minutes, just painted it and cut it up a little bit, made it look interesting, and just kind of, you know, and it looks cool, right?
Yeah.
But then we had all these other masks that were like clay masks that we, you know, that we molded and developed and painted and everything. You know, some I did, some my husband Jay did, some Laura did. And so it was fun. It was a real group effort. So we knew all that we had to get all that done leading up to filming. And then for the other, I guess some people would call it challenges, we knew that we didn't have the funding to have multiple locations or, you know, special effects or, you know, having lots of cast and things like that. So when we started with that parameter, we thought, well, we better make the story really damn compelling, right? It had to be so compelling that it didn't matter that, and in fact, it was an advantage. It actually, we turned it into the advantage of having this one location, because the storyline is this woman, played by me, Jackie, is isolated in her home.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that feeling that you get, and it starts kind of messing with your head, doesn't it, when you're in that kind of isolation, because you start asking yourself things like, what is my life all about? What is all this for? Why am I alive? What's my purpose? What is really going on? What's going on behind the screen? What's, you know, what is all this, right? Sure. And I think these are things that, you know, you can call it conspiracy theory, but I think these are things that a lot of people question, because everybody is searching for truth. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. They're
Mm-hmm.
searching for truth, and they're searching for meaning and substance and all of those things in their lives. And all of this touches on that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think another thing too that's interesting is that, you know, I'm not young anymore. And that's something that Laura and I really wanted to feature in the film, was an aspect about ageism with women especially, because it's something that we all deal with, you know, when we age. I mean, how do we deal with it? How do we deal with the fact that, you know, maybe the bulk of our career is actually behind us? You know, what do we do with that?
Right.
Because I play in my, you know, it's close to reality. I play a has-been, a has-been actor, stroke singer. So we wanted it to be near what I am, but not me exactly. And so for when I developed you know, obviously the script was written by Laura and Tim. Excellent script. Oh my gosh, so good. And then, you know, with my character development, it was really all about bringing together all those things, all those questions about life, questions about career, questions about aging, questions about the search for truth, all of these things. And they all came together in this film. Yeah.
How much time did it take them to bring the script to a point to where it was something you could truly work with?
geez, I'm trying to remember the timeline. I think we started talking about it in February of 2020, and by June, we were ready.
Wow. So that was before
It was,
lockdown.
think about it. We were all locked down. We didn't have anything else to do. So we were just, full on down with it, just working,
Were
working.
you locked down in February of 2020?
I think so, weren't we? Didn't we start the lockdown in I think there was a little bit of a lift here and there, but for the most part, things were weird up until about June, right?
That's
Would you
right.
say that? Like from
Yeah.
sort of what was it? October or November of 2019, it started getting pretty scary, and then all through the beginning of 2020, it was weird, right? It wasn't until June and July that it started to open back up again, and we shot in July.
Okay. See, now I forget that one of, the first instance was in Washington State. So we didn't lock down until after you had. So I'm in Atlanta.
Right.
We locked down, it was mid-March.
Oh, okay. No, we had another in Los Angeles, we had a lockdown way earlier than that.
Way early. Yeah, I totally forget that. I remember sitting there watching it, and I'm like, I turned to my now husband, and I said, "This is a pandemic. Like, do you realize what's coming? Because we can just see it come across." And I'm like, and he's like, "Oh no, and I'm like, "No, you have no idea what's coming." So perfect timing to come together and create a film, especially a film such as this. And what a quick, time frame when you're locked down and there's nowhere to go. It's amazing the amount of work you can get done, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I mean, I'm just, honestly, I'm so proud of this film. I'm so proud of it. I can't believe that we pulled it off. I'm so amazed because, and here's another thing. This is just an actress thing. When you're carrying a film, when we first sat down to watch the first cut, and, my heart was palpitating because I was thinking, oh my gosh, am I going to be any good? Is it going to be watchable? And I thought, gee, Laura and Tim took a big chance, putting all this effort into it and into me as the lead. And it was really compelling. It's a really, really compelling film to watch. And I'm surprised I'm saying that because the fact that it's me, it is besides the point. It's just a really compelling film. And so, bravo to Laura and Tim for the script.
Yes. Congratulations. And congratulations on, I didn't even count how many awards so far this film has won, but it's numerous. And it's numerous in so many different locations. So that's absolutely fantastic. Congratulations on that. So with this film, such as Eyes Wide Shut, which you were also in, there's so many conspiracy theories, so many different forums out there on the web to where people are like, oh no, I think this is this, and it's the Illuminati, and it's, and then they do talk about Mr. Kubrick's death, which I had researched. He had died in his sleep from a heart attack. Mm-hmm. And that even has blown up of, oh no, this, that, and the other. And then you'd have this one random guy go, no, it was really just a heart attack. Like, it was confirmed. No one was involved in that.
Yeah, I know a lot of people do believe that that there was some sort of conspiracy behind that. But here's the beauty of Stanley's work, is that people will forever be trying to unravel the meaning or what the meaning behind the meaning is in his films. And so, for those people that think that he might have been killed because he was unearthing all these secrets or these truths, because it wasn't so obvious, cut and dry. It's not. If all of those conspiracy theories are true, it's always going to be people talking about, well, but it could be this and it could be that and it could be this. And that is the beauty of great writing. And so I'm going to segue back and say, because all of us, Laura, Tim, and I, we're all really, I mean, of course, right? I mean, what filmmaker is not influenced by Stanley Kubrick?
Sure.
And we all were. And I had always said to both of them, I said, we shouldn't feel like we have to spell it out completely, spoon feed people with, okay, this is what happened and this is exactly how it resolves and blah, blah, blah. We didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so there will be questions with the film. I've talked to a few people that say, I rented this film, and he said, but then I had to go back and buy it because I needed to watch it another couple times to try and figure it out in my mind what was going on, and I thought, fantastic, because that's what it does. And I love films like that. There are other filmmakers, I won't name names. There's a really big filmmaker that a lot of people love, and I don't get it because he always underestimates the intelligence of his audience. And that kind of pisses me off because I think, you know what? Overestimate the intelligence of your audience, right? Allow them to try and think a little bit about, what this means, or, like in my case, in the case of my character, Jackie, is Jackie going crazy? Are there things in her mind? Are these things really happening? There's a lot of questions to be had in this film. It really makes people think about that, not just about her, but just about their own life experience, about what they believe to be true, what's really happening, what they think is really happening versus what is really happening, kind of thing.
See, that's thrilling for me. I love to be able to take the time and watch someone's work, a film, and within the first 3 scenes, I don't want to be able to know what's coming. I don't want to be able to see the ending already. Right. I have seen the first 15, 20 minutes of thousands of films, and I don't remember any of them because I shut them all off. I'm like, no, this is this, boom, done.
And that's going to happen at the end and blah, blah, blah. Right. And then at the end of the film, you're going, you see, I was right. Yeah. And it's not going to happen in this film.
No, not at all. Not at all. So
you'll be second guessing it the whole time. You're going, oh my gosh, I didn't think that was going to happen. Yeah.
I love that. And I'm so with you. Yes. Overestimate what the intelligence is of the viewership.
Absolutely. Make people think for a change, don't spoon feed people. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, I think the other thing that's really great about this film is that there is such a, because of the pandemic and all the things that are going on in our world right now, I mean, the world is so in flux right now that I think people can massively relate to this idea of, my character being isolated in her home and not knowing what is happening with the outside world, what is going on. And so it's an uncomfortable feeling, but it's certainly compelling.
It is. And I love the title of the film because to that note that you just mentioned, fear frequency. Right? I mean, absolutely. I do have to ask you about something sort of on that topic, but a little bit off the topic. So, and I found this to be a little bit of a chuckle for me because I'd have to say we're one of the same. We're in this together. But coming from where you are, which is in Los Angeles, and every time when I'm in Los Angeles, I'm aware of my company and I have many similar views, many similar things that we can talk about, and then some other things that maybe I don't agree with as far as the liberal nature. But there's an article about you coming out as conservative.
Yeah.
It makes me chuckle. I don't, on either side, I don't see where a headline could be coming out as liberal or coming out as conservative. Did that make you chuckle a little bit? How did you feel about that?
Geez, that's a whole minefield. We, all of us have our beliefs. And I believe that we should all be free to be free thinkers and have our own beliefs without having to buy into groupthink necessarily, right? And that goes for everybody. I might not agree with other people politically, but that's okay. I mean, that's part of what living in a free society is all about. But that said, I'm going to segue back again. What is very interesting about fear frequency is that it has a commentary that you might think, huh, is this political? But it's not. And it's kind of amazing. I don't know how Laura and Tim managed to do this, but it's absolutely genius that it addresses things that we sense in our society that's going on, but it doesn't pick a side. And I think that that's really beautiful because we don't need to pick sides anymore. I don't think we need to be divisive anymore. I think we need to figure out how we get to truth regardless of which side we're on. So this is more of a social commentary without picking a side. And I think that's beautiful. So for me, you know, talking about politics, it's like, you know, I did that for a few years, and I'm kind of on to another thing now. I have to say, I just want to focus on living my life, figuring out what truth is, finding peace and contentment, and exploring various areas of art. And that's it. And, you know, I mean, I'm going to say Laura and Tim and we don't all agree. You know, we're not in lockstep with one another. And I think that's beautiful. I think it's great.
Oh, I do too. I completely agree with you. I think, you know, there are so many different facets to what everybody believes that it's nice to be able to have your own individuality to what you believe is life, because at the end of the day, it is your individual world and my individual world, and we can all come together and make something really great and really beautiful. And I love it. I love my family in Los Angeles. I love my family in New York. I love my family in Georgia. And they're all three different people. And it's wonderful. So thank you so much, because you know, that did stick in my brain for a minute. And I thought, gosh, that's just such a funny way of putting a headline on an article right there. But going back to fear frequency and also touching on Eyes Wide Shut. So as far as hidden images, there were so many different hidden images that are debated online about Eyes Wide Shut. Would you agree that you've seen, okay, yeah, there's this Easter egg here and there's this one there? I mean, is that really something that could be confirmed for that movie?
You know, in the scenes that I was involved with, I didn't notice any, quote, hidden images, unquote. Again, I'm going to say that's the beauty of Stanley Kubrick's films, because people are going to forever be pontificating over, oh, was this, is there some sort of meaning in the fact that the lamp was here and then later it was moved over to here? I mean, at one point, I think there was a scene in the bathroom scene. The first scene was one way, and then literally there were some items, and because Stanley moved the camera angle, he's like, no, I don't like that there, so just get rid of it.
Wow.
Because he just didn't like the way it looked in the viewer, right? Just, you know, the line wasn't right. It's like, you know, so they try to move. He goes, nah, just get rid of it. And so all the continuity people out there that are going, wait, there was a thing there and now it's not there. How come? You know, I can tell you it's really that Stanley was incredibly visual, and if something wasn't right in the viewer, he would just get rid of it or move it or do whatever. However, I am not going to say with you know, absolute conviction that there wasn't hidden meanings. Obviously, there's tons in that film. That film is like, it's like peeling an onion, layer after layer after layer after layer. And the older you get, if you revisit the film, you will find different things. It's a different film for you. I find that fascinating. I hope that Fear Frequency does this. I hope that Fear Frequency is that kind of film for people. I'm looking forward to looking at it again, like not looking at it for about a year and then looking at it again, go, oh, wow, wow, you know, I'm thinking, what's different here? This is different. I didn't notice this before. Yeah.
Now, you have some music by an artist that is in Fear Frequency that you would definitely like to talk about. So Phaedra V, am I saying that correctly?
Yes. So there's a scene in the film where I'm dancing, and I've got this friend, Phaedra, and she had put an album out. Again, you know, independent girl, just doing it on her own kind of thing. And I just really love the tune. It's called Let It All Go. And so we decided to use that for, you know, a quote, like a feature song in the film, and it just fits perfectly. So, yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. Now, do you know her, or how did you make the connection?
Yeah, I know her, but she prefers not to be known. So I find that I kind of love that. So that's why I kind of got in touch with her and I said, you like to cover yourself up. Very interesting. Yeah. Cause she's always covered. And I mean, her thing is that she wants it to be about the music and not about her. And I kind of admire that, you know?
Yeah, no, totally.
I think with art, I think especially with music, there's two kinds of people in music. You have musicians and you have entertainers. And I think for musicians, it's really all about the music and them trying to convey something with, you know, what they choose musically, what instruments they choose, how they produce it, and the songs that they write, versus an entertainer, somebody that just comes in, does what they're told, sings someone else's song, you know, just goes into the studio, sings the song, and then leaves, and then lets the producers and the musicians and the songwriters and everybody else do it. And all they are is the front person. Phaedra is not that. And so that's why I admire her. And that's why I, you know, pushed it with Laura and Tim, and they agreed, you know, that it was a great song for the film. So that's why we decided to put Phaedra's song in.
Do you think, you know, maybe in a little bit of a time going forward, maybe 2023 or 2024, do you see Fear Frequency coming out in theaters at any point, or are you going to solidly focus on streaming?
We would love if it came out in theaters, but does anybody go to theaters anymore?
No.
I'm not sure. Do they? I mean, I haven't.
My kids have. They went.
Okay.
They did. They saw a couple of kids' movies recently. I can't remember which ones, but so they did. But you know what? There's a lot of theaters here closing, and then a lot of theaters are within malls. And we've had some issues here in the Atlanta area with malls. So, you know, it's like mom and her kids don't really feel safe and secure to go to the mall and park there and go into a theater. But it is hard to find them open. Is it the same way in Los Angeles?
You know what? I haven't even gone, so I can't tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I think for a lot of people, it's just all about streaming. We would love to be in theaters, of course. It would be fantastic. I guess it just depends on how much of a cult hit this happens to be. I'm kind of hoping that it will be. It's one of those films that is going to be like a slow burner type film. In fact, I'm just going to say how this whole thing started is I had a friend that said, you know, you should be making films. And I said, yeah, but, you know, and as an actress, you start self-doubting and you think, you know, how am I going to do that? And where am I going to get the funding? And, you know,
right.
And this friend of mine put me onto this film. It's called Creep. And again, you know, I mean, we had a bigger budget than Creep, and it shows, so that's good.
Mhm.
But I will say that with Creep, they had a compelling story, and it's turned out to be a bit of a cult hit. And it's all down to the quality of the story and the actors. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think too much now. There's too many. And so anyway, sorry, I segued. So when I saw that film, when I saw Creep, I thought, okay, this is possible. We can do this. You know, technology is so wonderful. And I want to say this to any actors that might be watching, or any script writers or DPs or whatever, to say, don't wait for somebody else to, you know, to give you a ton of money to go forward. You don't even need to play that game. Just do it. Just do it. Just make your own work.
I'm typing that in here because I want that on the screen because it's so true. Just do it.
Yep. Don't wait.
Yeah.
Why wait? You know, I mean, the main thing is that it's all down to the level of your creative capacity, because you think, what can I create that is going to be compelling for people to watch? That also fits into the parameters of something where, you know, you don't have a lot of locations, you don't have a lot of people, you're not relying on tremendous special effects. And what ends up happening is you get these really fantastic films with really strong storylines and really great character development. That's what happens. And I am so ready for that. Honestly, I'm just kind of tired of super big budget. I'm tired of all the, you know, the stuff around it. I'm tired of it. I just want to see real stuff.
Yeah, you know, the only thing that's coming to my mind right now is that it's a little over scripted. It's as far as the types of characters you're going to see, the mixture of characters you're going to see, the interactions. It's almost like it's just over scripted. It needs to be shaken. And
well, you know why? You know why?
Why?
Because you have people that are, you know, what often happens is that when you have a big studio involved, they're most concerned with their financial bottom line. So they want to mitigate their risk so that their risk is as near to zero as they can get it. Right. So for them to do that, they aren't willing to trust the creative people. They bring in tons of different people. It's like, oh, well, okay, yeah, you wrote this great script, but we're going to have 10 other script writers come in because they had this hit and that hit and this hit and that hit and this hit, and they're all going to come in and write on your original script. And so what happens is that oftentimes the true creative, the creative seeds that formed this baby of the script, the original script, gets watered down hugely. And so then, you know, you just get all these people, you know, throwing their 2 cents into it to try and make sure that to mitigate their risk. And then it just becomes this big budget, you know, sorry. I mean, I shouldn't, you know, there are some big budget films that are excellent. Don't get me wrong. There are. But I guess because I'm a creative person and I've been frustrated many times by those people that are totally left-brained financial people that don't have a creative bone in their body and trying to convince them of something, I'm done. I don't want to do that anymore. And, you know, and we didn't do that. We relied on ourselves and we made this thing and we wrote it and created it and all of that. And I just want to support other people like us that are doing films similarly. It's like, yeah, bravo, do it yourself, get it done.
Absolutely. You know? Wonderful point. Now,
so I really want people to watch. In fact, I want their input too. I want people to let us know what they think of it, how it makes them feel.
I have all your information scrolling at the bottom. So your Instagram is at Julienne Davis Official. Twitter is at Julienne_Davis. And your website, do you have contact us on your website to where they can get in touch with you?
Yep, there's a contact page. Yep.
Julienne Davis. That's JulienneDavis.com. Now, casting for Fear Frequency. I've been sitting on this question because I'm like, oh, I can see it. Okay, you're in lockdown. You have a lot of friends that are really talented people.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they don't want to break out of lockdown. How do you put that wonderful cast of very talented people that are all going to have the same passion into this project as you all do and bring them together in the middle of lockdown to film in July while you're still strongly locked down in LA?
Yeah.
2020.
I guess the want to make great art overshadowed our fear.
Yes.
That's it. And and we cast one of the other supporting actresses, Jennifer Coe.
Mm-hmm.
So excellent. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So we cast her. She was fantastic. I guess we were respectful of everyone's space to try and keep our distance. We weren't, breathing on people and stuff.
Right.
I think we just wanted to make art more than we wanted to be afraid.
Did you have any no's when you called up some people?
Yes.
You did?
We did. Yep. Yeah. We had one actress in mind for Jennifer's part, and she wouldn't do it. Too scared.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to each their own. I can understand, and I am so excited to be able to sit down and watch this movie this weekend because I'm going to, and it's available on Amazon. The film is Fear Frequency, and I've got to ask you, because as we were talking in the green room, I did read a lot into your bio of your, like I said before, you're a writer, you're a singer, you're a ballerina, you're an internationally known model for many, many years. Which came first? Was it ballet? Because I can think maybe she was put into ballet as a little girl.
Well, I didn't wait. First I want to say, if they want to find out more about the film, please go to fearfrequencymovie.com.
Perfect.
That one, it has a slightly longer trailer and more information about the film and the cast and the filmmakers, et cetera, et cetera. And of course, go on to Amazon and rent it or buy it. In fact, I'm recommending you buy it because I guarantee you're going to want to watch it more than once. Anyway, so yeah, what happened first? I modeled for a little bit when I was around 12, 13, kind of preteen stuff. And then I was acting when I was, 11. I had a lead in a play at age 11. But most of that kind of just sort of went away and I was writing poetry, right, as I said before. But it was dancing. Yeah, I started dancing slightly late. I was age 14 when I started dancing. So I didn't dance. I didn't start at age 9 like a lot of fellow dancers did. But I guess I was a natural because I was on point within a month. So
what?
Yeah,
that's really, really super fast.
Yeah, but one thing I'm still really grateful for with dancing, especially classical ballet, is that it teaches you discipline, real discipline. That you have to work through the pain. You're dancing for hours and hours every day. That's really rewarding when you know that you can create something with your body, an art with your body, but it doesn't happen easily. You have to work hard and you have to be disciplined. And that set me up for a lot of things that I did in future. So if there was something that I found, like after dancing, what happened was I got too tall to be able to audition for the corps de ballet. And so after that, I then kind of segued into being a model. But that didn't come all that easily. I mean, on one hand, I was stopped on the street by an agent. That did happen. I was stopped on the street. However, it wasn't like I had, you know, all the top people holding my hand saying, oh, okay, we're going to get you a Vogue cover or something. It wasn't like that. It was really down to me studying myself, the fashion industry, makeup, how to walk, how to move, how to pose, all of those things. And just being disciplined and determined that I was going to make it in that career. And it was really down to my determination, like just bloody determination that that made it able for me to have such a long fashion model career. Yeah. And then after that, I you know, as I said, well, actually, I didn't tell you your people this. It was right at the height of my model career that I had an audition for an extra in a film called Eyes Wide Shut. And so I auditioned as an extra, and then Stanley called me in to meet him. And after that, I did 2 screen tests and then got the part of Mandy. That's how it happened.
Wow.
And then my life changed again after that. Yeah.
Wow. So, all right. If you could hypothesize, if you were not able to take ballet lessons and all the different ways, modes of education as you're going through a life into the arts, if that wasn't your path, can you see what you would be doing if it wasn't the arts? Do you have any idea what it may be?
Oh, gosh. I think I'd be kind of miserable.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I could. I can't imagine another life. Honestly, I can't. I think I'd be miserable. Yeah. That's
the beauty of living right there. I didn't know what you were going to say because you
have to do what makes you happy and what moves you. If you aren't passionate about it, what's the flipping point? Seriously. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And like with acting, you know, I think there's a lot of people that want to get into acting because maybe they want to be famous, right? Now, considering what this business is like, and it's not an easy business at all.
No.
That is the last reason why you should get into acting. What you need to discover is, number one, can you act?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there's a lot of training to be had. However, I think that there is a certain talent that is innate.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very grateful. Thank you, God, that I'm able to do it. In fact, when people say, well, what is acting to you? And I'm going to cuss here, so, you know, I call it the mind fuck,
mm-hmm.
basically. And that's what it is. And that's at least my way of making that happen. So, you know, some people might say, wow, you know, how did you manage with fear frequency with the character? Because there is some real intensity with this character. I mean, she completely breaks down. She goes a bit crazy. It's pretty intense. I'm not going to give away more than that, but it was an intense role to play. And I think that, you know, like I was saying about doing what you love and being passionate, that you have to, in order to make a character like that, or any character, believable, you have to put the whole of yourself into it. Not part of yourself, not this little part that you think, oh, this is what this person would be. You have to put all of you and everything you are, and all your light and dark, and all your passions, and all your love and hate, and all of those things into this character. And that's what makes it real.
Yeah.
And the actors that do that, they will have, and I'm not going to say they're necessarily going to be fantastically successful and famous or whatever, but at least I will say this, they will have a genuineness about their work. And that's what's important. And that's what people recognize. If you're not genuine in your approach with what you're feeling, you know, if you're not really going there, then an audience, even if they have nothing to do with the acting world whatsoever, an audience feels it. They know if it's not genuine. They know when it's not working.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. One of the best compliments I ever got was from just a friend, and I can't even remember what walk of life that friend was from. I don't believe that they were in the industry. And they said, you know, we saw an on location article of when we were shooting a movie. And they said, we didn't even recognize you. We didn't realize that was you. And I'm like, yes, that's the point. You are completely present in this physical body as someone else. You are completely as someone else. And and to your point of fame, I mean, we have some major names in front of us right now, unfortunately, on trial and exposing their entire lives. I think that is really a perfect picture of the lack of privacy you have and just how transparent you become if for someone that's sitting around saying, oh, I just want to be famous. No, you don't. No, you don't.
I mean, you know, it depends on the person. They chose to go down this road in, you know, basically airing a whole lot of dirty laundry.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's necessarily wise, but it's what you choose. You know, there's some people that want to do that and want to make themselves all their lives completely visible and air their dirty laundry. If they want to do that, fine. There's other actors that are very famous that, you know, keep to themselves. They've got their private life and they have their public life, and that's it. And they keep those separate. So it really depends on the person and what you want to invite in. You know, there's a dark side to the acting world. And I think people need to be aware of that before they go into it.
Yes.
Right. You know who you are and stick with it.
Oh, that's first and foremost.
Be strong in who you are and stick with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's, you know, I always kind of equated it to playing with a Ouija board because that was a generational thing. My grandmother was fascinated by it. And many, many people are like, oh my gosh, you know, don't even mention it. And it is what it is. I don't have a necessary definitive opinion on the Ouija board. But from the stories I had heard, I'm thinking that's, you know, before you embody another soul, you must be 100% complete because you're coming back. And I love what you said about acting. It is that you said. If anybody wants to know what she said, scroll back about 10 minutes. But
pardon my phone. Yeah.
I can't wait to see the film Fear Frequency. And I want to thank you so much for your time. This has been a really delightful moment in time of getting to know you and just building a relationship with you. And I'm so thankful.
Thank you, Elizabeth. No, it's been really fun. I mean, I always love chatting to fellow artists and talking about art. It's fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah. And just thank you. Thank you for having me on. And to all those people out there, go and watch this film. You won't regret it. I promise.
Absolutely. That's what I was about to say. Before I let you go, tell us one more time, how can we contact you and how can we follow the film and watch the film one more time?
Okay. Well, you can always contact me through my website, juliennedavis.com. But more specifically, please go to fearfrequencymovie.com and you will see the trailer and more information about the film. And then also it is available for rent or to buy on Amazon. And I absolutely recommend you buy it because I guarantee you're going to want to see it more than once. So
Awesome. I love it. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Do you have any big plans?
we do, because it's my husband's birthday tomorrow and we're heading over to Joshua Tree.
Oh, very cool. Well, happy birthday from us to him.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, we'll see you again soon. And you're a friend of the show now. So if there's anything, any new developments, if you come out with a sequel,
Yes.
I'd love to have you back on.
Oh, the mind reels. What can we do? It's going to be cool. Yeah.
Totally.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
You're
Jeez.
welcome. You're welcome.
Got me thinking now.
Good.
All right.
All right, I'll see you soon.
All right. Take care.
You too.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Everybody, thank you so much for staying tuned in and giving me so many wonderful comments throughout the show. Make sure that you watch it in its entirety if you came on maybe in the middle or the end or just saw a few minutes and then had to run. It's an amazing conversation with Julienne Davis, and I want to say thank you so much. And as always, we are blessed. You are blessed. Mwah! I love you. And until next time, I will see you right back here very soon.